In this lesson, we'll begin working on the hand bones. We'll get started by moving to our back view. We'll grab our bone tools, and we'll go ahead and roughly place this bone object. We'll then go ahead and move it in place. We'll segment it, and then we'll be able to clone that to the other fingers. The last one we'll work on is the thumb because it's a little bit trickier. So we'll do that in the next lesson before mirroring the arm chain. So let's go ahead and get to it. Again, we're roughly placing this bone object. And then we'll go ahead and jump to our perspective view. Alright, sweet. So from here, we can go ahead and grab the bone object, the root. Let's go ahead and pull that over to the index finger. If the mesh is getting in the way, by the way, you could always just go ahead and head over to your layer manager underneath tools. That way, you can just go ahead and basically freeze the character layer. Here it is. So just go ahead and freeze that. Sweet. That'll make it much easier for us to work with our bone objects at this point because now we don't have to worry about selecting the mesh. Alright, sweet. So we'll just go ahead and start to tweak this. We'll go ahead and adjust the orientation. I'm doing this all locally using local mode for the rotate and move gizmos. That way it's a lot easier to adjust the placement of our bone object before we're ready to segment this out. If the placement's off, we'll notice that as the finger deforms. Alright, sweet. What I'd also like to do is jump to the Modify panel and adjust the width and height. I think we can set both to about, let's say, 1. Alright, sweet. So I think that'll work out well. Let's go ahead and grab the nub object. We'll delete it. We'll go ahead and grab the root. Head back over to our bone tools, and let's go ahead and choose Create End. Nice. Now, we need to think about the volume that the fingers should keep as it starts to rotate. And because of that, we're actually going to create a double jointed finger. That way, as we start to animate the fingers, we'll notice some really nice volume. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's actually really simple. We'll need to work with Refine. Alright, so I'm just checking the placement just before we're ready to start segmenting this chain. Let's say we go ahead and get to it now. I'll start by going to Bone Edit mode. We'll go ahead and take the root and pull this back locally. We're thinking about the metacarpal here. Now, we can go ahead and grab Refine, and we'll add another segment. Sweet. From there, we'll go ahead and segment the next section of the finger. So we'll go ahead and add 2 bones. And I'm looking at the edge loop that starts that section and the one that ends that section to figure out where to segment the chain. So let's go ahead and do that again. Here's the next section, and here's the start of that. And then here's the end. Fantastic. Alright, so there we have it. Once we've managed to do this, we can then go ahead and exit Bone Edit mode, turn off Refine, and now let's go ahead and clone this to the next finger. So press Control page down. We'll then go ahead and hold down Shift and drag on the Z-axis. Sweet, let's go ahead and choose OK. And now it's time to reorient this chain. So I'll go ahead and grab the root, rotate it over. We'll then go ahead and move this over in the Z-axis. Nice. Take a look, we'll also need to twist this chain. Let's go ahead and grab our rotate gizmo. I'll swivel it around in the Y-axis, but then I'll go ahead and twist it in the X-axis to match the angle of the finger. So we have to be really careful about that. Just take your time and make sure it's correct. It'll be all worth it in the end. No need to rush here. Alright, great. So once we've managed to do that, let's go ahead and check this from different angles. This looks nice. Now it's just a matter of going back to Bone Edit mode and adjusting the placement of each bone object. Let's go ahead and start at the end and work our way up. It might be easier for us to do that. So I'll place the nub at the very end of the finger. We'll go to the next bone. We'll place this one at the end edge loop. And we'll go ahead and move to its root and place that at the start edge loop of this section of the finger. Let's go ahead and move to the next bone. Go ahead and translate that down locally. Do the same thing for the next section. Nice. Great. And I think with this bone object here, we can go ahead and place that up a little bit higher. And as for the metacarpal bone, I think that its placement is good. There we have it. Let's go ahead and turn off bone edit mode. We'll press Control page down to grab the rest of the hierarchy. Let's go ahead and hold down Shift, and we'll now clone. Sweet. So that's basically the process here for the rest of these. Let's go ahead and take care of the ring finger. Let's make sure we reorient it. Let's go ahead and move this over on the Z-axis. I'll go back to the rotate gizmo. Let's go ahead and twist this in the X-axis and also rotate it in the Y-axis. And then we'll want to bring it down in the Z-axis. It was up way too high, so we'll go ahead and drop that a bit. Nice. So from here, I might go ahead and adjust this in the Y-axis a bit more. I think that's going to work out wonderfully. It's now time to go back to bone edit mode. Let's say we go ahead and take the metacarpal bone, and we'll go ahead and bring that up just a bit. We'll then go ahead and move to the next bone object and pull that up. And we'll continue to do that the way we've been doing this before. We're looking at our edge loops, right? Wonderful. So just a few more here to adjust before we get to the pinky. And then remember, in the next lesson, we'll work on the thumb. Fantastic. All right, this looks great. Let's go ahead and clone this. So we'll go ahead and grab the root, press Control page down. Let's make sure bone edit mode is off. Otherwise, you might notice that your end bone might kind of twist. So to be on the safe side, we'll go ahead and clone with bone edit mode off. Let's go ahead and grab the root. We'll bring this over. Now, it's going to be a little bit trickier with the pinky, but no worries, nothing too bad at all. Let's go ahead and pull back the metacarpal just a bit more. The reason being is because we'll want a type of cupping action with the hand. So we just want to make sure that we place our bones in the right spot so that as we start to animate the hands, we can create that type of shape. Let's go ahead and turn on bone edit mode, and we'll start to adjust the other bone objects. So I've just brought the next bone down. I'll turn it off, and then we'll go ahead and reorient the rest of the chain to fit inside of the finger. So you can see this one's a little bit different than the others, but nothing too difficult at all. All right, fantastic. All right, so now we can go ahead and finish up by working with bone edit mode to make sure that each bone is placed at its respective edge loop. Before we move on to the next lesson where we'll work on the thumb and mirroring our arm chain across. All right, sweet. So this looks good. I think we can go ahead and stop the lesson here. In the next lesson, we'll work on the thumb.